Hello everyone. In this short video, I'll try to discuss what I attempted in this module. The first thing I attempted was trying to access um, uh, Google Docs voice typing option. I normally use Safari as my default browser. So when I tried to access the Google Docs voice typing, it was not initialized. I spent some time looking around if I needed to do something to initialize this, but reading the help forums, I realized I needed to use that particular tool in Chrome only. I could use that particular thing in Chrome only. So I switched over to Chrome. Then when I looked under tools, there it was. So the way this works is that once you click on it, this particular icon appears here. If you click on it, it'll start auto typing whatever you speak on the microphone. And this is an example of how it works. Full stop, new paragraph, new paragraph. As you can see from the first line, there are few issues. There is a problem with accent. I guess with people, I guess even native speakers, accent might be an issue, but for people like me, it's even a bigger issue. Uh, Next paragraph. It's not next paragraph, it's new paragraph. Bulleted list. Create bulleted list. This is again an example of how you can use voice commands to instruct Google Documents to do a variety of things. New line, new line. Okay, I'm not sure why it typed the new line in the first instance. In the first instance. Again, let's see how long this voice will be auto typed by Google Docs. I guess it'll not last for a long time. Full stop. The reason I'm saying is that many times when I did this, it stopped. The tool froze over after a few minutes. Again, as you can see, it froze. Okay, it started again. Next line. Next line, new paragraph. Again, as you can see, it stopped functioning. When I looked around various Google's help forums, I found a page where they discuss about it. And the Google people, they've given a bunch of instructions. I tried them out. It doesn't work like the other people also, and the other people were also reporting on the same. And interestingly, in one of the threads that I was looking at, one of the persons mentioned about speech notes, and I also went about looking at what this speech notes was, since this person and a host of other people have also been frustrated with Google Docs. Before I jumped into speech notes and show what I briefly did with it, I'd like to go back again to Google Docs. If I initialize, one interesting thing that you can do is with Google Docs, provided this thing works for a period of time, you can go to the interviews, video interviews, or whatever you've done, and you can play it simultaneously in your QuickTime. I'm using QuickTime in my Mac, so you can um, initialize that particular thing. For this assignment, I've been playing around in Mendeley. Although I downloaded Mendeley at the start of the class, I've done nothing much with it. So I've played around both in the app that I've downloaded and also in the portal Mendeley provides. The first thing that I did after I downloaded the folder is I created different, after I downloaded the app, is I created different folders based on the readings that I'm doing. These folders are just based out of the classifications that Uh, some of you might be confused of what's happening. I was speaking till this particular time, then I went to this an earlier recording that I had made, and I had played this thing, and I instructed Google Docs to listen to this particular thing. It listens to it and it starts transcribing, but again the thing is that it freezes frequently. It doesn't go beyond 20 seconds. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. It seems Google has not responded or fixed this particular bug, so that's a kind of a limitation of this. But if it would work, it looks to be a fantastic tool that you don't need to pay anything. You start off a video or recording on one side of the screen, then you initialize this button and Google Doc transcribe. But sadly at this point of time there are some issues. So based on one of the threads that I was reading in the menu, I went to something called speech notes. I went to the website. It's kind of a free thing. Again, it has this particular mic, and I also attempted. So again, it also, you can again directly speak to that particular mic, or like the last instance, I can again try to do I can play a recording and hope this particular mic picks it up. So let's see how it goes. Hello everyone. For this assignment, I've been playing around in Mendeley. Although I downloaded Mendeley at the start of the class, I've done nothing much with it. So I've played around both in the app that I've downloaded, and also in the portal Mendeley provides. The first thing that I did after I downloaded the folder is I created different. After I downloaded the app, is I so as you can see, it's not, it's pretty good as you can see, right? Again, it's again recording this particular thing also. Let me deinitialize, yeah. So now what you can see is that you can parallelly play a video file or a audio file in one part of your screen and instruct the software to transcribe it. It does. Again, it has issues. There are spelling issues. It misses out words. I'm not sure how far that's only related with my accent, but again, reading through other people's comments using this particular software, there are issues in it. Saying saying this much, I'll briefly stop here with regards to these transcription softwares, and I move to a traditional transcription software. For this module, I tried to play around a software called Inscribe. Reading the reviews, many Mac users praise it. So I try to play around with this software. This is the home screen, the home screen that opens up once you open this particular software. This software has a facility where you can drag and drop your audio or video files. So let me show what can be done. You can pick any file, a video or a audio file. This is a video file that I used for our last class. So once you drag and drop, that opens up. You can resize your windows. You can resize, and this particular place, the white place, is where you can start typing. The way it works is that um, you can just start typing. You just start play. For this assignment, I've been playing around in Mendeley. Although I downloaded Mendeley at the start of the class, as you can see, I'm not I'm not able to transcribe my own voice, because normally when you speak, we speak at a faster pace than I generally do not have that skills to constantly type. So like with other transcription software, you can always slow the speed of the voice. Just here, a thing I liked about this software as compared to other softwares like Xscribe, it's kind of a more user friendly. I found it more user friendly. It's all around the screen. The screen is not that intense. So I just decrease the speed. Now let's hear. Nothing much with it. So I've played around both in the app that I've downloaded, and also in the portal Mendeley provides. So you can see it's a much better than the first. You can slow down the speed. Another thing that's really neat I found was that you can insert times when it was at what time that particular thing was spoken. It just there are short keys. Again, if you look at the help menu, there are a bunch of short keys. So for this to ensure the time in Mac is command and semicolon. So that's the time where it appears, right? This software also has some interesting features. I'll just like to show you two. In this table called snippets, if you use this edit button and you press on this thing called add, what you can do is that it'll show you a default value. This means that it'll insert the time and the speaker. So when you're actually transcribing interviews, you as a researcher, you'll be asking questions many times, and the respondents they'll be replying. So after every few lines, you'll need to start off the line with either the researcher, respondent one, respondent two. So it gets tedious writing all those down. Thus you can have a shortcut in this particular software. The way you just write is, let's see, researcher. Then if you want the time to come there, if you don't want the time, it's you can again change this. By default the time is there. Then you can also define a trigger. That means you can assign a particular a key in your keyboard to call that, to recall that particular thing. If you press this, you can suppose 1, right? So if I put 1, what it'll do is that there's this thing called research. And now let's see how it goes. I downloaded the folder is I created different after I downloaded the app is I created different folders based on the readings that. So as you can see, I replayed that voice. Suppose I am hypothetically typing and I reach a point where the researcher starts speaking. So if I just press 1, I'm just pressing 1 in my keyboard. Obviously I can show you that one, this automatically comes, right? So in that same way you can go and edit and create other shortcut keys for respondent 1, respondent 2, and any other terms that's frequently spoken. You don't need to write, you just press a key in your keypad and that thing gets automatically. And again, sometimes what happens is that when we're transcribing, even though we put it in on a small slow scale, we need to go back a few seconds and then still. So those shortcut keys also you can again create here. By default there are just 2, and then you can add again a different options here. You can again whatever you need to do, you can redefine and customize and have those key here. Since I'm using a free version, it will not allow me to save this thing, but there's again a way out. So what I can do is that I can just copy this and take to my Word, take to Word and type it. Now before I do this, I'd like to go back to the software that we're using. You remember that we were using this, I was using that. So based on this thing, based on the recordings, this thing's auto typed. Well, there are plenty of mistakes. So what you can do is that you can copy this, take to your InScribe, dump it here, and you can edit the thing. Then you drop in your file, here, and you start playing. And whatever is the mistakes, if you need to insert the time here, insert the time, whatever needs to be done, right, based on what you're hearing. So if you are able to integrate these two things, it'll not give you the perfect answer, but since you're not paying any money, right, obviously you don't get those features. But I found a way out. In the event that I engage with any interviews, I don't see myself engaging in the foreseeable future, but anytime I need to engage in an interview and transcribe these and I'm not ready to pay money, there are ways around that I can again use it and do it. Thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.